Hey Siri, I'm filming.
Coming right up.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Setting the scene.
Oops. How are we doing today? From the Bronx. Oh, hello again. Were you here yesterday? Oh. Is that my Americano? Is it ready? Yes. Hong Kong, good afternoon. Quiet quitting. Oh my gosh. Again? That tweet I think is like 2 years old, or maybe a year old. I don't even remember. That's crazy. Oh, look who came here. Say hello. Did you guys come because you knew I was gonna have an apple for breakfast? Yeah, let's share this again. Good old mine reading the sound of coffee machine. Where's? Have you guys seen this? It's like a Japanese vegetable brush. It's made out of coconut fibers. You can use it as a dish brush, but I already have a dish brush, so I use it to scrub my fruits and vegetables with. How did my workout go yesterday? It was super good. Oh my gosh, I had such a good workout. It was chest day, which is always a fun day. And where is it here? Because they're gonna join me. Okay. It was a chest day, and I did an hour of chest exercises, as well as an hour of like easy cardio, which is like, treadmill walking on an incline or something called a Jacob's ladder, kind of like chill. I watch Futurama while I do that exercise. But then, because it was such a nice day, it was it was like 72 degrees Fahrenheit in Detroit, which is in February very concerning, which is weird because it's going to be 58 degrees now at like 6 in the morning. It's going to be like 20 this afternoon. It's going to be back to winter. So it was a good workout. Oh, YouTube added TikTok like live feature. Yeah. Leg day. Today's leg day, right? Today is leg day. Today is leg day. My wife has some content suggestions for you because apparently I only do things when you recommend it first. That's really funny. I'm open to suggestions. Anything. Well, don't drop it on me. There you go. Good morning. I can't play favorites. Although you obviously have like seniority a lot. So. But yeah, so as I was saying, the weather was so nice that even though I did like a 2 hour workout at the gym, I took this one right here, the little one in the back. We went on a 4 mile jog. Don't lick my hand when I do it because I still have to touch this apple. Okay. Your mouth is sweet, but it's nasty. So I ended up like, I have like a calorie burn goal on my watch of like 1100 calories. And we know that like, we're talking about a plus or minus 400 calorie margin of error. Most likely, like it overvalues it. But I still almost doubled it. I almost got to, oops. I almost got to 2200 calories burned just because of like all the walks and the running and the. So I was feeling really good about myself today. You guys are so spoiled. These are like prime Michigan apples. That's great to hear. Yeah, it was good. So today is a leg day, so there will be less cardio today. Oh, hell yeah. I like going to the gym. It's like a peaceful private time for me. Aloha. Dogs love apples? What does cardio even mean? Cardio is that thing when you go up the stairs and it's hard. The wife also said the other day, you know he's engaged. I insist, I just want to be your best friends. That's funny. It's like that British guy who's married to that lady, but his like, but his one pass is like Henry Cavill. Have you watched Netflix's Avatar? What do I think about it? I love the cast. Fun fact, the guy who plays the cabbage vendor in both the voice of the original cartoon and the guy who plays the cabbage vendor in the Netflix, same guy. He came and saw me at a book signing. Dude is like the soul of Avatar. It's the best thing ever that he's in all of that. But as far as like, also my fiance loved it. He loves action-packed anything, and he thought the action was so cool in the show. But for me, like, you know, was it a perfect? It was not. No, it was not perfect. But I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was entertaining. I thought I thought the casting was great, and I thought they made some interesting choices. I would have loved to see more Azula, but I know like they really had to. Are you drooling on my leg? Did you just drip on my leg? Girl. I loved that. I don't know if it was a choice or that just happened to be. There's this TikTok out there that showed like all of the yassified scenes that Zuko had. So like Zuko was like definitely nails emoji at certain points. which thought it was pretty funny. Um, I mean, go in with M. Night Shyamalan expectations and come out being entertained, is what I say. Um, and I think, like, there was only 7 or 8 episodes in there. And the fact that they crammed so much in there in terms of like all the development. Like, so, I don't even remember how many episodes um, there were in the original series to get to it as far as they got. Like when they got up to the Northern Water Tribe, they got all the way up to the Northern Water Tribe, and everything that they had to do in between there. They got there in 8 episodes. Also, how did Avatar, having the exact same budget as Percy Jackson on Disney, and have that much more everything? More action, more CGI. I guess it was already written for them, so they didn't really have to spend a lot of time like developing. Well, then again, so was Percy Jackson. Percy Jackson's based off a book. Yeah, both Avatar and Percy Jackson had a $15 million per episode budget, is what I heard. What breed are my dogs? They are pit bulls. Hi. We're getting to the core, and you can't eat that because the seeds are bad for everybody. Seeds are bad for everybody for apples. They all have cyanide in them, which is extra bad for dogs and bad for you. We people just poop them out, but dogs tend to chew. So that's enough of that. We're not gonna risk. I don't know. What did you guys think of the Avatar movie or the Avatar remake? It still takes more work to cross mediums, though. Avatar was already meant for the screen. Well, thanks, Justin. They agree. Um, yes, I would say so. I would say Avatar was meant for the screen, but I still think that, like, I agree with you. Initially, overall, I do agree with you. However, I do think, well, first of all, Percy Jackson was also a movie. Did not watch it. Um, so I don't know how much of the source material from the film that they took, but if they took it straight from the book, I would argue to do a live action adaptation of a book is easier in many ways, but primarily like visually speaking, than a cartoon. And I think Avatar was like a really good. I think the movie version of Avatar is such a good example of that. There is so much that you can express and convey and do that is just physically impossible or just outrageously prohibitively expensive, visually speaking, with animation that will give people some ridiculous expectations for when they see a live action version. Like just even for the Netflix version of Avatar, like even just like how slow the bending was in comparison to how quick and fast and choppy and like just exciting the action was in the animation. Um, they did their best, but like you are our like our suspense of disbelief is so much more forgiving for animation. And so, if you're working from a book that is just words, people don't have that expectation. They're kind of like everybody has their own idea of how something is. So an interpretation of that would be like kind of, I know, more forgiving, I would say. Like, could you imagine if Harry Potter was an anime first? I think that's one of the reason why like live action remakes of anime usually is just terrible. Is bad. That's what I have to say about that. But Apollo generally do agree. Today we are going to, because I have tons of salmon that we got from Costco, we're going to cure and then freeze the salmon so I can use it for sushi whenever I want. I got this yesterday. So we made sashimi bowls. Well, I made not sashimi bowls, but like sushi bowls yesterday. And salmon is like one of the best things that I can eat for myself. While I'm at it, I'll throw some sweet potatoes in the oven before I go to the gym. Where's my salt? Over there. So we're going to need a knife, a cutting board. Excuse me. Cutting board, knife, and some. Did you know you can use Costco salmon for sushi? If you're brave enough? I think if I put you on this will be easier. Okay. Here we go. Think that would work? Yeah. I've got you on an arm now. Look how professional. Okay. So, you can kind of see. There we go. So this was a salmon that we cut up yesterday. And this salmon was processed on February 26th. So ideally you do this on the day that the salmon was thawed and processed. But it's fine. Where's my salt? Here it is. I think we will cure this as one piece. That is the belly. Where's my knife? Ooh. Thanks for the hearts. Is the chat still going? I don't know. Oh, no, there's tons of this chat stopped. Oh, shit. Mochi makes me happy. Sadder House. Not sure you'll get the Death Becomes Her reference. Sorry about that. My chat stopped and I didn't read a whole, like, 5 minutes worth of messages. What does it mean for it to be processed? So, when we use the word processed in food, it can mean anything from chopping to salting to curing. Processing just means you've done something to a raw ingredient, like prepping, cooking, curing your food, whatever. So when people was like, "Oh, I can't eat that. That's processed." Well, bitch, so is like a crudité, which is literally just like carrot sticks and dip. Like that's processed food as well. So, how we're gonna process this today is pretty much we're going to separate the salmon into fillets. It's about 8 ounces, 6 ounces, 6 ounces. And then if you're going to do it for sushi, the option is to cure it. You don't have to do this, but this does make it last a little longer because it kills the bacteria on the surface. It makes it taste a little better. It makes it look a little better because it kind of concentrates everything. So, and all you do for that is you just add salt to it. You can also add a little bit of sugar if you wanted to, but I don't generally do that. But just a little bit of salt. Not in the way that, like, we're not making like gravlax or lox or anything like that. We're not curing salmon. We're just, one hand is the salt hand, one hand is the flippy fish flippy hand. And like people like to do this for an hour. I don't like to do this for an hour. I think like 30-45 minutes is long enough. And then we will wash the salt off and then pat it dry, and then we'll store it in the freezer for whenever we need it. And pretty much that gives us sushi ready salmon from our freezer. You just thaw it and then you can like eat it. So we're going to start this timer first. We're gonna do 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Okay. So, and then while I do this, I'll cut up the other salmon. Do I have room? I do. I can put it right here. Last time salmon had runny well, I'm sorry about that. Let's see. Can't say how much I love you, and Kim on the podcast. It's fun and make me love food even more. Oh, well, thank you, UV, if you're still here. Can I have eternal sushi? So yeah, so basically how it goes is the farmed Atlantic salmon from Costco is safe, generally regarded by a lot of sushi enthusiasts, Japanese restaurants, as safe to use for sashimi because of the way that they raise their salmon without antibiotics. The farm is from Norway, and yeah, actually, it has been said that, and basically you just like do a smell test. If it doesn't smell like fish, like that's good. That's a good sign. It smells fresh, you know. So this is the belly. The belly is the fattiest part of the salmon, and it is actually generally the first part. Like a lot of restaurants will throw this away. And that is like unfortunate. But because it's the fattiest part, it tends to like smell the most quickly unless you do it unless like you quickly serve it super fresh, which you only have the opportunity to do a little bit of the time. So we just cut, and this is like the loin of the salmon, I guess, the part that you find in most restaurants. The skin has been taken off already. But since we're using it for sushi or sashimi, then like I don't know if it's like weird to you, but I could just easily just eat this. Okay. It literally tastes like what you taste at a Japanese restaurant. Farmed, not wild caught. This is not a comment on sustainability or fishing practices or environmental stuff, but just basically down to like what is or is not good for you. Farm salmon is oftentimes in an enclosed and controlled space and fed specific kind of foods that don't have parasites in them. And so farm salmon is generally regarded as just like safer to eat straight off raw than wild caught salmon. Because wild caught salmon has a high rate of parasites in them. Now there is a way to get rid of that. Actually, we're gonna just eat that because these pieces are so small. And I'll get some soy sauce. But because a lot of fish that's caught like is frozen, if you freeze your fish that is wild caught for I think like 3 days, the parasites in there die and then you can eat them as sushi. A lot of places do, like tuna for example. A lot of tuna that is used for sushi is frozen right on the boat, and it's actually gone through a process called super frozen where the temperature is so low that it preserves the texture of the fish, but it almost like kills the parasites right away. So obviously you saw me wash my hands before we like touch my salt. We'll salt these guys just a little bit. There we go. Flippy fish hand. Okay. Now that is done, we'll set another timer for 30 minutes. Okay. Put this away. I'm gonna bring you guys a little closer so I can more easily read the tiny text on the screen while I get this. Careful with E. coli. Will cure and kill parasites? Not really. Makes me think of how Darius Cooks was touching everything with that live. Oh, Darius. I didn't know he did YouTube lives. You're so knowledgeable. but not in a hoity-toity way. Oh, well, thank you. Ooh, there's some soy sauce here. This is a soy sauce that was given to me as... Okay, first of all, let's look at this branding. How cute is that? It's a caterpillar that's holding a rice paddle. And this nice lady came to one of my meet and greets in New York, sealed for your safety, and gave me some sushi kit stuff, like a vinegar, soy sauce, and a spicy mayo, which my fiance loves their spicy mayo. So, curing will not kill the parasites. I didn't answer that question fully. Curing will not kill the parasites reliably as freezing it will. So after we cure, curing is more of a textural thing, a flavor thing, makes it taste a little better. But freezing it will kill the parasites. And also this is farmed, so I'm not really worried about parasites for this particular salmon. But we're gonna freeze it so I can eat sushi whenever I want, because this, obviously I can't keep this in the fridge for very long. And I'm not a sushi chef, so I'm not cutting this very nicely. I am doing my best, but it's also 6 in the morning and I get to eat. This is what being an adult really is. Being an adult means like I can eat sushi at 6 in the morning if I wanted to for breakfast, which I oftentimes do. Like I would prefer this over cereal any day, unless it's Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I do love me some Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Crunch the film was a masterpiece. Thank you. They agree. The dogs give it 5 out of 5. Oh, I need to weigh this first because I'm doing that stupid shit. Where's my scale? I am tracking my macros. Which means I have to weigh this food. Which is fine, because I guess that just means I'm gonna be fancy and eat out of a plate or a bowl. I just have to like wash my hands again. I'm eating 191 grams of salmon. How many ounces is that, just out of curiosity? 191 grams is 6.74 ounces. That is a cheapy restaurant's quantity. Where can I write this down so I don't forget it? Where's my pens? There we go. 191 grams of salmon. Does anyone here track their macros or anything? I need to be like you, sushi at 6. Oh, did you guys ever watch that show on Apple TV called Lessons in Chemistry or something like that? About that like cooking scientists, and her show was called Supper at 6? I really like that show. Brie Larson, big fan. she had a YouTube channel for a second. Got 15 minutes for the first batch and 23 minutes for the second batch. Never seen it. It's good. Oh, I didn't know it was a book. Was it just like kind of like a fiction version of it seems like just like a fiction version of Julia Child's life. Why are you prepping 7 so early? Because I have time. Good soy sauce. Okay, Kamushi, I see you. Yeah, that's good. Oh no. Does YouTube have a translate? They do not. I can't. I don't understand Japanese, but hi. Rico. I mean, it's also what I do for a job, so I'm just working technically. It just happens to be fun work because I get to eat the leftovers. Oh, I'm on the east side. Even though I've been downtown pretty much all my time here. Because technically the Villages is still downtown. We're east side, but like east side. Greetings from Japan. That's what I said. Sorry if you don't understand. Oh, I would have some of these. So I'll be compiling a list of like wants to my YouTube person, and like one of the things that I want for like these live streams, one of the things is a translate feature, and also I would like to make it so that like I can make the text here bigger. That's my second ask. And my third ask for YouTube to add as a feature for lives is to like, when you push out the recordings, for the text to show. Cause like, it's just video when you do a recording of the live and you post it and people can't see what I'm responding to. Thank you, Nadia. What is the most challenging dish I've ever made? Seems hella early for a live. Well, you know, we're just vibing. It's kind of like a get ready with me, but like you're getting ready for work and I'm eating sushi. Most challenging dish I've ever made? It's probably some kind of pastry or baking thing. Or bread. I'm not very good at baking. I'm not very good at baking at all, because like as a control freak with ADHD, I don't like the part of baking where you just put it in the oven and you just have to wait there to see whether it all works out. I don't like that. That is why a lot of cooks do not like to bake. The message was held for... Drake, I hope you know, like, YouTube automatically censors in some of your comments. So I don't know what it is you said, but I don't think anyone else saw it either. Do I usually have sushi for breakfast? Not really. I'm only having sushi for breakfast right now because like it's left over from what I'm doing like right now. Oh, commercial baker had to run from any dish requires flour. Yep, not a fan of the process. Is this the Nintendo and chill? No, this is my own playlist. It's on Apple Music because I use Apple Music. So are you in Europe, Nadia? Maybe like Germany? Wait, no. What is west of the United Kingdom? Oh, you are? Oh, I got it right. I'm pretty good at figuring out time zones. Have I been to Sweden? I might have like. I've never been to Sweden. I would love to go. Jess has a good question. Does it really have to be sushi grade fish? So sushi grade is not an official categorization for anything. Hello, constellations. There's no like official mandated grading system for sushi. When someone says sushi grade fish, they're telling you a couple of things: that it's fresh enough to be used for sushi, and that something has been done to the fish to make the likeliness of it having parasites as very, very little. So, DMV, good morning. And so, it also makes it more expensive. You don't have to buy sushi grade fish to have fish that is good for sushi. Like Costco farm salmon, which is what I'm eating right now, does not call it sushi grade. But a lot of people who eat and cook sushi professionally just understand it to be as good enough. That being said, a lot of the Korean moms, that was so good. The soy sauce is excellent, but don't know how it's gonna taste washing it down with coffee, but the Korean mom group chats, of which my best friend Kim is a part of, they seem to be saying that Costco salmon, Costco farmed not Costco, but like Sam's Club raw salmon is like superior to the Costco stuff. But I don't have a Sam's Club membership. The Cuzzies, thank you for your sub. Thank you for subbing. You're Rohan? Nice to meet you, Rohan. How do I find out where the salmon is farmed? Generally, they say. And if it's a big enough shop like Costco, you can Google it. It's a Norwegian farm. Sam's Club, I guess that's in the States. It is in the States. They are a Walmart. They're part of the Walmart family, which is why I don't really, Jazza, good morning. Oh my God. We've been up for an hour. How are you, darling? Do I speak any other languages or language? I speak Cantonese poorly. But Jazz is here and is a friend of mine in New York. And since people are asking anyways, look at this. It's the dogs are here for those. Earlier on in the live, I shared an apple with them. And now there they are, pretending like they haven't eaten in years. Good morning from Hamtramck. Good morning, neighbor. I don't know if that was a typo, but I really like oopies. This doesn't say like. Oh, it does say refrigerate after opening. Soy sauce, sugar, bonito kombu. So yeah, this is what I just tried as a soy sauce for sushi earlier. I will highly recommend it because it is delicious. They are a small company based in New York and cute, cute mascot. Kemushy. Kamushi is the brand name. Apparently, their spicy mayo is really good. I cannot confirm that myself, but my fiance really likes it. I'm not a big spicy mayo person, but I think I've had a cup of coffee. I think we're gonna switch to tea. I haven't eaten dinner yet. You've reminded me. Oh, you definitely go have dinner. Hello, hello. Hi, S Black Pink. Oh, Blackpink. That is the Wii song. I'm so glad. It makes me so happy when people recognize the music that I play from this playlist. Oh, it's 7 a.m. We've already done so much today. Oh, I should wash the sink since I'm going to be cleaning out the fish after. Have you tried yerba tea, and if so, which do you like? I've had yerba mate. I don't know what yerba tea is. That a brand? Rule, you should get some food then. Can you ask me a language to speak? Well, you can't really speak it on the chat because I can't read. So I'm so happy to be here. Going to tell my wife I hung out with John this morning. She doesn't need to know it was a live stream. That's awesome. Oh, thank you. I love using Studio Ghibli music in my stuff. Studio Ghibli and video game music, I think, is like perfect for shorts. Hey, from Canada. Was it easy to find your path and career in life? Any advice for somebody entering their mid 20s? As a person who is exiting their 30s, yes, I do have advice. Don't know if it's still relevant, seeing as I'm like old now. But I live in Detroit. Have you watched Boy and the Heron yet? I have not. So, entering their mid 20s. So, one thing, and I'm not saying this as like an old who's just saying stuff to young people, a young person right now, but like one thing I kind of wished that I knew when I was in my 20s was that I didn't know shit. Like, I didn't know literally anything. I thought I did. We had that millennial naivete back then, and we thought we like had it all figured out because we were all broke and poor and just doing our best anyway. So, but you know, if I had been more receptive to like listening back then, as I do now, because now I know for a fact that I don't know shit. I probably would have like gained more. Another thing that I would have done more in my 20s was I was doing a lot of bad stuff in my 20s. I did a lot of drugs, a lot of alcohol, drank a lot of alcohol. I smoked cigarettes. I smoked a lot of cigarettes. And I quit most of that stuff now. But knowing, just how temporary our bodies are, I probably would have taken better care of it, which I take care of my body now. And, there is something to be said by people who do, like, turn around later in life. But yeah, but I would have started running earlier. I love to run now. If I did it in my 20s, I'd probably be, like, a marathon person. What is another thing I would have done in my 20s? Oh, I would have been more humble at the gym when I did go work out. Because that's when I started going to the gym. And I went in there thinking and pretending I knew what I was doing. But really, I was just wasting my time. Taking classes. Couldn't afford a personal trainer back then. But like apps, videos, and stuff. I would have paid more attention to like how your body works. Because you think just because it's your body, you kind of know how it works. No, you don't. Unless you do stuff for a living, you really don't know how your body works. So, there's that. Basically, a lot of it has to do with ego, and I wish I had a little bit less of it when I was that age. A lot of it's physical stuff, but like, I don't know. I'm in my late 20s. Oh, skincare routine. Yes. Okay. So, one thing that I'm glad I did in my 20s was I was receptive to using sunscreen on times that like most people did not put on sunscreen back then at my age. Like I was putting on sunscreen every now and then. I put on sunscreen every day of my life now. And I am 40 years old. And I'm so glad I did. I'm 40 years old in April, and I'm so glad I did because it makes a huge difference. It does more to protect your youthful appearance than anything else you can put on your face. If you put on sunscreen every day, starting from now, you will notice that everybody around you who doesn't ages a lot faster. And get the Korean stuff. Oh, one of the salmons is ready. Get the Korean stuff because it is generally cheaper than the American stuff and way, way better. Okay. We have our first thing of cured salmon here. What is that? I don't know what that is. When did you realize you had a passion for cooking? How old was I? I had always been cooking. I was never afraid of the kitchen, which I think is like what stops a lot of people from cooking. And unfortunately for my roommates back when I was in college, I was not afraid of the kitchen. I wasn't that great of a cook either. But, I kept at it. It was something that I wanted to do. I actually didn't start cooking until I was in my 20s. So, one other thing is, you might feel like being in your, see how like when you cure it, the skin like kind of tightens up, gets a little more pink, it's like nicer, firmer. That's what putting the salt on it does. But we're just going to like wash this off. And then we're going to put this off to the side and pat this dry before packaging it to be frozen. Can you make a heart for an edit? Hold on. When I'm done with this fish. There. There. John, you're up early. What is for breakfast? We had salmon. I have a bunch of spare black cardamom and dried jujubes lying around, by the way. Any recipes that you can use those? Jujubes you can put in anything. Put them in like your chicken noodle soup. You can actually like boil a ton of jujubes and it'll make like a nice syrup. It's delicious. Wait. Do I want to use saran wrap? No, I'm gonna go downstairs and use my vacuum sealer. So I'm gonna get some bags. Vac seal bags. It is cold down here. 2, 3, 4. I think 5. 5 days of sushi from 2 salmon fillets. Hi. Why is my right arm significantly bigger than my left arm? That is actually not true. I know this for a fact because I'm left dominant. Dog. Yes, dog. Some paper towel. For someone about to enter their 30s, would you take a gap year to travel in my 30s if I could? Yes! Oh my god, yes. Traveling is one of the best things that you can do for yourself in terms of getting perspective in how the world is and how people are. Traveling is one of the things that you can do if you have that luxury, because it is a luxury and a privilege. But if you can do it, it's one of the most efficient things you can do in terms of the work you put in, and you literally just come out a better person. So good to see you. Good to see you too. Irani, hello there. I travel between my house and work all the time. Girl, yeah, I know. I travel between my bed and my kitchen. But playing any video games lately? I am still playing the Final Fantasy remake, the first one. I know my PS5 console is currently downloading the second one. I'm nowhere near done. So I'll be playing the Final Fantasy V game for a very long time. But in the remake, I'm enjoying it a great deal. Love from India, hello there. Let's see, I think 3? 3. 2. 2 is better. 2. Hell yeah, hello, where are you? I am in Detroit. I've played Final Fantasy 14. I have to double back on some others though. Do you go to the gym constantly? And if you do you give some tips for staying consistent? Yes, I go to the gym 6 times a week, 6 days a week. I see a trainer now 3 days a week. And on those days, I sometimes go twice a day. And the other salmon's ready. And some tips to stay consistent is that it is hard to develop a habit. But once you do, that's when it becomes easy. That's when you don't feel like yourself when you don't go to the gym. Like, I am grumpier on days that I don't work out now. But you have to go, and I think they say if you do something 100 times consistently, not every day because you do need your rest days. But if you do something consistently 100 times, then that's how long it takes for you to develop a habit. So I would say, do that. Something that also helps me motivate to do something or get started on something is, and I don't want people to get the wrong idea when I say this, but if you get a slightly more expensive gym membership, or you go and spend money on a personal trainer, if you have that available to you, I oftentimes like get so stressed out when something is expensive that I feel compelled to use it more because I don't want to feel like I'm just throwing my money away. So like a fancy gym membership, or again a personal trainer, that's sometimes a good way to make sure that you keep at it. Buddy system is also really good. If you get like a workout buddy, somebody who will tell you to go on the days that you don't want to go, that's pretty good too. But otherwise, like, the best way to self-motivate is to just keep going until it becomes like part of who you are, which is 100 times. Stick at it for 100 times. And if you don't like it after 100 times, maybe you need to find something else to do active wise, because obviously there's no sense in putting yourself through something that you hate that much. And as far as like, if you say you have ADHD and it's hard, I mean, ADHD does make things like developing a routine difficult, but I do too. I'm not medicated, but I have been diagnosed, and I used to be medicated, and actually developing, like, sticking to a routine is one of the ways that help us cope with ADHD, and forcing ourselves to do this. So the way my ADHD manifests is like, if I have a routine, and if I deviate from that routine, I'm a mess. Like, I'm wasted the rest of my day. So I will start my day off walking the dogs, doing some editing, going to the gym. I've started doing more lives. But say like, if I don't walk the dogs, or if I don't do the editing in the morning, or if I don't get to the gym that day, I might not do anything with the rest of my day, because like I cannot push through that list without ticking things off in a specific order. Love you too. Where am I? I'm in Detroit. Does my husband work at Costco? This is only 2 fillets of salmon. This is like, well, I would say it was probably like $50 worth of salmon. But it's also like a week's worth of food, so. Oh, that's hot water. We don't want to do that. Top 3 countries to travel? I mean, I like Peru. I like. Let me think. I want to go to Nigeria, and I want to go to India. I have not been to those places, but my favorite places include Thailand and somewhere else, probably in Southeast Asia. Probably like Indonesia. Peru, Indonesia, and Thailand, I think, are great places. Food-wise. It is. This water is cold. There we go. Okay. There we go. Good morning. Are the dogs still sleeping? They are. Am I meal prepping? No. I am, well, I'm just prepping salmon to use as like sushi. Yeah, the dogs are saying, hey! The hell is that? How did you even get that? That was, no. Boba. Do I have a restaurant? I used to, and then I became a TikToker, and then I became a YouTuber. What was that? The puppers are awake. Have you visited the Philippines? Oh yeah, Manila is beautiful. And Philippines is some of my favorite food. And Jollibee has the best fried chicken for any kind of fast food chain. Sorry, my second favorite is Gus's though. Boba's guilt face. Yeah, she one of the pieces of tissue, one of the pieces of what's it called, paper towel that I was using to draft the salmon, she snuck. Oh shit. 2, 3, 4. I might need another one of these bag things. I'm gonna go grab more. Let me see, 1, 2. Shoot. Well, these three can go in one. So I just need one more bag. So literally like a week's worth of sushi for $50. I mean, it's only one kind of sushi, it's salmon. But I think that's pretty good. I've spent more at a sushi restaurant. And this is a week's worth of sushi for 2 people, mind you, not just like me. Let's go grab one more bag. Vacuum seal, yes. And my vacuum sealer is down here in the basement. It's one of the things that I took from my old restaurant. See, it's right there. It's a crazy powerful chamber vacuum. I used to, before the pandemic, I used to have a secret restaurant in my apartment. And I served anywhere with like 16 to 32 people a night, and I had a team of 5, and it was inside a farmer's market district. It was actually like, it was pretty notorious in Detroit at the time. So a lot of the stuff is from there, which is why it looks like I have a restaurant in my, which is why it looks like I have a professional kitchen, because like a lot of the stuff is from that. There we go. Ready. We got a lot done. Are you Canadian? How did I end up in Detroit? I initially came to Detroit in 2007. For no real reason, apart from the fact that I was like sick of living in a college town. So I moved here. And it was so much fun, and the people were so cool, that even though there was a terrible recession going on, um, I decided to stay. And then I bought my first house for $15,000. And the rest is kind of history. It was a move-in, single bedroom, 100 square foot, one bedroom, two bath apartment or condo unit. It was $15K. And I had been like building up a portfolio since. Can you even think about like property being that? It wasn't even like a fixer-upper. Would you have started YouTube if it wasn't for the pandemic? No. Nice. That was in Detroit. Yeah, not even. If you were in Detroit, that was in Woodbridge. Um, and Woodbridge is like a nice area now. Age? Yeah, I'm 39. Hello from Belgium. Hello. Yeah. People like, they joke about Detroit and whatnot, but fact of the matter is, like, sorry about the noise, but, because it's almost done here. So I'm vacuum sealing this. So it takes out all the air, makes it better preserved, and it stops it from getting freezer burn. There we go. Boop. And then we'll stick this in the freezer, and it's pretty much good for like months and months and months, and I can have sushi whenever I want. So that's what we're doing today. What was I saying before? I used to live on Commonwealth near Trumbull. Yes, that is exactly where the place was. It's on Commonwealth, actually, my old place. But yeah, Detroit has, I think it's in the top 3 or top 4 cities with millennial home ownership. People have been shitting on Detroit, but the people that have been here have been keeping it a secret because we have been able to afford buying homes. And people are like, oh, what's so great about the city? Why would anybody want to live there? I mean, like, it's pretty nice. And it also has a great airport. We can leave whenever we want. Hi, Bree Bree. Hi, Bree Bree. Turkish, hello. You still get good property for cheaper? Well, that 15K apartment, when I bought it in 2007, was valued at like, I think 280K before the pandemic. So it's still cheap if you're coming in from New York or Los Angeles, but I don't think it's like Midwest cheap anymore. And we're talking about like move-in nice homes. Like you can still buy like a fixer-upper for like super cheap. You can still buy like a rundown like empty burned out house for like $1. I'm sure. But you're gonna have to put like $500,000 into it. All of the deals, the flash deals, like like that, when I bought them, those are gone. Because it has also been like almost 20 years since then. So what's the public transit like? Not great. I think we got like a C or a D for public transit. We're doing better. We're trying to get our buses to go every 30 minutes. We don't have a subway system. We have some light rail that is like a joke. But the bus system is pretty good. You can use your phone to pay. Um, as if you want to stay in the city, if you want to stay within like the downtown, midtown, Corktown area, like the main avenues of like where people would go if they moved here, I would say it still would take you like 30 to 45 minutes to get anywhere, which I think is fair for public transit. Look at all this salmon. This would easily be like hundreds and hundreds of dollars of like sushi grade prepared frozen salmon. Like this, I would say like they would probably try to sell you this for like 30 bucks and say this was like sushi grade ready to go salmon. But we've got this much because of what we did this morning. Okay. Let's put this in the freezer. So you've lived for Detroit for almost 20 years. That's a really long time. That is a really long time. I think more like 16, 17 years at this point, but but I have seen the city go through some shit, and I've loved it every single day I was here. I have never been in a situation where I was like cursed this city. I've gone through a lot of stuff here, but I've always loved Detroit as a city, the entire way through. And I think as far as when it comes to places that people live, I think that's pretty good. Brazil, hello. How's the water quality? Depends. The whole Flint thing, so people think Detroit, they think like Flint, they think water and stuff. Flint now probably has some of the cleanest water because all their pipes are new now. But unfortunately for them, the reason why they had a water crisis to begin with was because they stopped buying their water from Detroit. We have like an amazing water processing facility not far from us, so our water quality is pretty good. But it really comes down to your pipes. If you're using like lead pipes and stuff to get your water, which a lot of places, no matter what city you're in, still uses lead pipes. That's the main issue. Please break something. I really want chaos. Sorry, no. You break something. Be the chaos you want to be in the world. From India? Hello. I've always wanted to go to India. Is an air fryer worth it? Or if you have an oven? If you have a convection oven with a strong fan, not really. But if you don't, I would say if you use it, anything you use every day, anything you use like more often than not, at this point, anything that you use regularly is worth it. Do you see yourself using an air fryer once, 3 times a week? Turkish kebab, baklava. I do like those things. This thing come over, we got yummy food. I believe it. My friend Kim had to do like a gig in India and said it was one of the best experiences they had in their life. Like, luxury in India is unmatched. Okay. Am I done with the dishes? If I'm done with the dishes, this is just some bleach. Bleach the sink. There we go. Man, I initially boiled some tea earlier and I totally forgot. Now I want tea and I don't have any. Okay, those are off. Cool. Ooh. Were you luxury in India? I mean, like hotels. Like, my friend went and did a show there, and they said like when they checked into the hotel, they had like private security, and they're not like private security celebrity at all, but like they still had private security outside their door 24 hours. And when they went into their room, like their bedroom, their suite was an apartment. And their welcome packages included like their face printed on chocolates and their likeness on foods. And they had anything they ever wanted as far as the freshest fruit and the best, most amazing food at their beck and call at any time. And they're like not even, and they're like a niche celebrity. Like they're not like, they are like D-list to straight people, but probably like B-A-list to like gay people. But like, yeah. So that is what they got when they went there. Like, like insane. Like the hospitality there is just, from what I saw in the videos, and they still say it's like the best experience they ever had in their life. So that's what I want to experience. And also, Indian food's just the best. I say this not as a person, I don't cook Indian food. I just eat it. And I absolutely love it. I love how like their use of spices is just artistic. It's so complicated and so well thought out. It's medicine. It's just so good. Where are those gloves hanging from? That's what they are. They're the hot dog fingers. Shotgun a beer. It's literally 7:30 in the morning. Do I have a cookbook? I do have a cookbook. Why bleach the sink? Always. When I clean anything in the sink, whether it be vegetables or fish or chicken or whatever, like anything that gets dumped in the sink that's organic, I always follow it up with bleach. Like bleach is the last thing I always do to the sink, just because if the bleach dries, it sanitizes your sink. So it's just good hygiene. And do I have a cookbook? I do have a cookbook. This is my cookbook. It's a very good cookbook. You should totally buy it. It's got some great photos. There's some wonton soup in there. That is lion's head meatballs in there. Let's go over here. Oh look, it is mapo paneer. And this is my version of lomo saltado. Steak stir fry with fries. Tea's ready. And it's called Kung Food. When will I come to Japan? I would love to come to Japan. but I need a reason to go. I'd buy a vegetarian version. There's unfortunately there's a lot of meat dishes, but there are a lot of vegetarian and vegan options in the book as well. And there are options, there are ways, there are in a lot of the recipes there it'll tell you how to make it vegetarian, but I have a big meat eating following, obviously. Well, thank you, Genevieve. That tea kettle was designed by Christopher Nolan, by how that sounded. Yeah, it's a train. It's a choo-choo train. Somebody had asked me like if I liked tea. This is my tea drawer right here. Oh, that's soy sauce, but these are all teas. Do I wear shoes in the house? I have slippers. I have slippers. It's pretty hot today, so generally I do bare feet when it's hot. But I have slippers and I have like one pair of running shoes that I wear as house shoes. Because I have a walking pad downstairs. And so I have like one pair of running shoes that I've never worn outside. I sometimes wear them around the house too. But you just call that like house shoes. Definitely thought a train was by my window. Yeah. What are my top 10 favorite recipes? Like ever? Like I mean, that's, first of all, it's such a long list. Let me see. I like my fried chicken and waffles. I like my lasagna. I like the last one. That's something like I like chili oil. I like my ginger scallion oil. I like my dumplings, noodles. I really like my pumpkin miso soup. I like my mapo tofu. And then my mapo tofu curry is really good as well. I like spicy food. Stop. Are you making my own blend? Yes. Of tea? Yes. What's a dish that sends me back to my childhood when Mama cooked? Stouffer's lasagna. Oh my, really? Yeah. Mom wasn't a cook. Ever doing fitness content? Well, yeah. No. Those two completely different answers. But I'll do diet and nutrition content from a cook's perspective. From a home cook's perspective. But like as far as like working out, exercises and stuff like that, I only know how to do that for me, but not for other people. What's the blend? This is an Earl Grey and Lapsang Souchong, so it turns it into like a smoky sweet tea. It's not for everybody, but I like it. It's kind of funky. Some of y'all do too much. How did I get into cooking? Originally, I started cooking because I just like wanted something creative to do. I went to law school, and it was the only thing that I could like justify doing creatively. that I didn't feel like was a waste of my time when I should have been studying. So, do I have a video of ramen? I have a bunch of YouTube videos where I used and reviewed packet noodles, packet ramen, instant ramen. And then I fancified them. So if you look at my YouTube videos, I think they're called Ramen Upgrade. They're like my ramen upgrade series. I'm a lawyer. I was. But do I do gay and bisexual cooking classes? Only when your father is coming, Mike. The lawyer thing. How no milk in the Earl Grey? No, I just like it like regular. Cause it's smoky already. Soapstone behind the stove? It's a marble. It's a black marble. Oh, you're welcome. But that being said, it's like almost 8 o'clock, you guys. I thank you for joining me, but I actually have to get going to the gym. And so I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for a really fun live. I'm glad we got to talk about some cool stuff and show you some cool stuff. Maybe the next live stream I do will actually like make a sashimi bowl with that sushi. So talk to you later. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And yeah, thanks for tuning in.